Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe a noun. So it could be things like colors, so purple, red, yellow, orange, or it could be describing the size of something. So you might say something is little, or it's big, it's huge, it's medium. Those are all adjectives. They're words that describe the size of something. So another type of adjective is a number. So if you're describing how many of something there is. Okay, so I might say there's a few apples in the basket, or there are a lot of cookies in the jar. Okay, those are number words, or words that tell the amount or how many things. It could also just be the number. So there are 4 apples in the basket. So 4 would be your adjective there. It tells you about the apples. Okay, and also shapes. So you might say something is round. You might say that something is oval. That's describing the shape of an object. Another type of adjective is describing textures. That's kind of a big word. Textures just means how something feels. So you might say that the table is smooth. Smooth would be your adjective to describe the table. You might say that something feels bumpy or prickly or rough. Okay, those are all adjectives to describe the way something feels. You can also describe the way things taste. So something might be sweet or bitter or sour or tart. Okay, those are all the way, or delicious. You could even say things like delicious or yucky. Those are all adjectives to describe how something tastes. Okay, you can also describe the way things smell. So something might smell sweet or delicious or disgusting. All of those things, taste and smell, kind of have some of the same adjectives. And finally, sound. So you can describe the way that something sounds. It might be loud or quiet or soft or faint. Those are all adjectives to describe the way something sounds. Okay, so now we're going to do a little activity and we're going to think about popcorn. I want you to think about popcorn, and we're going to come up with as many adjectives as we can to describe the way popcorn smells, how it sounds, feels, looks, and tastes. All right, and so I'm going to do this. I want you to be thinking at home about what you would write. And if you have some extra ideas, you can jot them down in your journal. I'll give you just a second. If you want to pause the video to get your journal, you can do that, and you can add some extra adjectives, and you can let me know what they are if you think of some ones that I didn't think of. All right, so I'll give you a second to grab your journal. You can pause it if you want. Okay, so let's think about the way that popcorn smells when it's popping. We can always tell in school when someone's having popcorn because we can smell it popping. So I think that popcorn smells delicious. You don't have to write all these down, but if you think of another word that describes the way it smells, you can write it down and share it with me. All right, I think it smells sweet. Sometimes it smells sweet. What else? It smells good. Okay, that's about all I can think of. If you can think of any extra ways that it smells, you can pause the video and jot them down, and then you can send them to me on Padlet or on Flipgrid or wherever you want to send them. All right, so let's think about the sounds. When popcorn is popping in the microwave, it's usually pretty noisy. So I think I'm going to put noisy as one of my adjectives. All right. I think that's about all I can think of. So let's go to feels. What does popcorn feel like? Well, it's bumpy. Some parts of it are smooth. Some of those the little puffy parts are smooth. Some parts of it might be rough. kind of just depends on which piece you get and what part of the piece you're touching. All right, let's go down to how it looks. How does popcorn look? Sometimes it's white, so it's the color we're describing it. Sometimes, what other color is popcorn? What do you think? Yellow, if it's got butter on it. I think it looks puffy. All right. And again, if you have any other ones you want to add, you can just pause the video real quick and jot them down in your journal. All right, let's think about the way that popcorn tastes. How can we describe the way it tastes? I think it tastes yummy. You might use the word delicious again. It might taste sweet. And I think sometimes it tastes salty. This depends on what kind of popcorn you have. So these are all ways to describe popcorn. You might be able to think of lots more ways. If you can think of some, let me know. And I have one more activity for us to do. Okay, so this last activity, you guys can do this in your journal if you would like to. You're not required to, but if you want something extra to do, you can draw a monster in your journal, however you want, and then you can write some adjectives to describe it. You can share that on Padlet with us. So I drew a little monster, just a silly little monster, and I'm going to just put some words of how I would describe it, some adjectives. So I would say that it's bumpy because it has bumpy little sides all over it. So that's one of my adjectives. I would say that it's colorful. She has lots of colors. Okay. I think she's kind of strange looking, kind of weird looking. So I'm going to put strange. And then I'm going to say that she's huge. It's hard to tell on the paper, but if I imagined her in real life, she'd be huge. And then you can also think about how you would want your, like what type of personality you would want your monster to have, or character traits. So I would say that she's brave. And of course, this is all just make-believe. And then I would also say that she's smart. All right, so those are just some ideas. If you decide to draw a monster in your journal and share it with us, I would love to see it. And I would love to hear your, or see or hear your adjectives that you use to describe your monster. All right, guys, great job today. I hope you enjoyed learning about adjectives.